very interesting lock that you've never seen before.
Oh, fascinating.
It uses a weapon and an amulet as a key.
Hmm.
It seems that one of the keys is a trident, and another one, of course, is the amulet that was used. You don't know where either of these two things are because I don't think the group has actually produced them yet.
Hmm.
Yeah, Fizzbop is holding them, but you're very easily able to determine how it works. As such, you have the option. Yaz now has the option to outfit uh, his own keep with these locks.
So
Excellent.
recipe unlocked is what you're saying.
Pretty much.
Wonderful.
Okay.
I
Um,
love the thought
he
of this.
he he can even mix. He rolled well enough that he could actually suggest some engineering parts to go with it
Hmm.
Make it
to make it better.
Woo!
Excellent.
Urst did a thing.
Woo! Speaking of doing things, my potions, how are they coming?
They're coming along well.
Shouldn't they be done by now?
Yes, they should be.
Okay, good. So they'll be ready for use tonight, if necessary.
Yes.
Okay.
If Ernest becomes an engineer, we have to stick our heads together and make like a war tank.
Voltron. Oh wait, no, you're not talking about literally sticking heads together. Never mind.
Build a battle zeppelin.
Yes, okay, we're done. That's it. We're doing it.
No, that's a good idea.
I like the thought.
By the way, out of
Well,
curiosity, the gate when we first came in, was it wood or was it iron?
um, like the main gate,
Yeah.
wood reinforced with iron.
Okay.
Yeah, if it gets burned down, then there's still a metal grate that stops people from
Well, I'm
coming in.
assuming that also means the mechanism isn't as simple as a pulley on the side if it's got iron reinforced in it.
No, I can
Yeah,
get that gate open.
it's nothing that simple.
Yeah.
I
Figured
can
as
get the
much.
gate open. That's no problem.
So you're all within your little miniature base of operations.
Excellent.
Is there anything else people want to take care of?
I'm
I think
going
we
to.
should plan what our sabotage is going to be.
I'm going to write a letter.
I'm going to marvel at the locking mechanism.
Okay, so Fizzbot.
Yep.
Quillith has planning,
Oh, okay.
or wants to discuss planning of the sabotaging.
Alright.
So you two should probably talk.
Okay.
As another invitation to start.
Should we go somewhere?
Well, you're currently in the middle of a bunch of assassins that are all working towards your goal,
Uh-huh.
so you don't have to go anywhere.
Wonderful.
You can actually do it there.
Okay. So, who's up first?
You're the group leader, so assuming you. Because she said that she wants to talk. She said she wants to talk about it.
Okay.
I just figured it was something we should probably figure out.
Yeah, yeah, I have been thinking on it. So far, we have the ETAC going on the eastern wall. I'm thinking what might assist is finding a way to weaken the western wall. Probably something underground.
Hmm.
Like, take out its support and cause a cave-in?
Not cause a cave-in, but actually make it so. Alright, so my plan is here, make it weak enough that an assault on the other side would actually make it fall in a lot easier than expected.
Alright, how would we do that?
I'm not sure at the moment. I have to do a whole lot of research. I'm not sure if they have a blueprint of the city or not. We're gonna have to find a library and set up some strategics here. Potentially even check out the local mages guild.
Magno kind of just looks about and says, "Well, what about starting a large fire in one of the settlements under Okarthel's rule? Would that not cause most of the city to go there if we could somehow make it look like there was an enemy army there?"
They didn't perch up. That's actually not a bad idea if a little murdery.
Well, I'm not. I mean, we could evacuate the citizens, use a soup, put them in armor, and there we go. We've got a fake army and we've got a village on fire, so they've got both. They can see it from their wall, so they'll start protecting and looking towards that.
How would we convince them to do that, though?
Well, there are many ways. Some
I
through.
thought you were down in the.
No, Magnol's just been kind of walking about through the entire through the little temple,
Yeah, but
changing
they're
shit.
not in the temple.
Oh, I thought they
Yes,
were.
they are.
Yeah, I was gonna say
They are.
Oh, they are?
because they were talking
Yeah,
to Gogrim.
Fizbot took care of Fizbot took care of her family, and then they came straight to the temple.
Oh, okay. In that case, I can pipe up. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I was like, damn, I'm not there.
Mhm.
Okay. So,
Had some illusion spells to make it look like a monster had been attacking the town.
I can probably do that. That shouldn't be a problem. Just need some time to research.
That sounds good to me. That way we won't have to put men and women at as much risk. We could feign it, run in, say there's a monster on the way that they need to evacuate, and then catch it on fire while this thing is stomping around.
That's not a bad idea.
On the night that the armies are coming, I'll make my way into the gatehouse. And
Well, wait.
Uh,
What? I've got a better thought for you. What if we could empty the entire city?
How do you
propose we do that?
The king of Aramis. If we can convince him to gather his lords, and as well as throw a festival during the gathering, as typical for nobility to do, then you've got citizens traveling there. You'd have less here because most of the citizens here are either merchants or farmers, so they would probably make the trip. Dardisha would be required to go there and would probably take most of his troops, at least those that are extremely loyal to him, to protect him on the road. And then the army's out of the way, the people are mostly out of the way. Those that are left could probably be kept under, constant under watch in a sort of martial law situation. And there we go. We have both problems out of the way that we can open the gates of our own, ferocity, and there we go. We're done.
no good. Mogthar wants Dardishio's head. If he ain't here, then there's going to be even more blood. Plus, with all the nobles and their armies and their entire retinues gathered in one place, undoubtedly word will reach them fairly quickly about the trouble in Okarthel, and they will bear down on us, all of their armies simultaneously.
But if their walls have fallen,
They didn't hold up hands like. Actually, he's not. His plan ain't bad. It just needs a little bit of tweaking.
Yeah, it does.
So you're telling me, this door is fantastic, by the way. So you're telling me that we could take the elf out of the city instead of the city out from around the elf?
yes, basically.
Hmm.
Because think about it like this. Mogthar wants Dardishio's head, but Dardishio inside a city is able to defend, is able to protect. He holds the emerald, he has the power.
What emerald?
Sorry, Mogthar just kind of looks about and says, I shouldn't have actually said that because that was a different character. Mogthar says, if we can get him out of the city, he can't protect it. Sieging a city is much harder than fighting a battle on open field. Mogthar will be able to attack him. If this is what he wants, if this character wants Dardishio's head, then there you go.
Well, that was why we were sent here, I believe.
So get Dardishio out of the city, Mogthar takes down the walls, and there you go.
That's a good one. The only problem I can foresee is location.
Well, the best
That-
idea would be the mountain.
That and how do we convince the king to hold this festival? The only thing I can think of is potentially killing a large enough beast that's a threat to the kingdom.
Magno looks at him and says, "What about this stone character?"
Uh, well,
What
he's dead.
about it?
Think about something though. If he supposedly, well, if he was able to, be known by the guards here, I mean, I don't actually know if he was here or not, but assumedly, if he has a name for himself, then we could convince the king that this stone has brought an army and has found a way around the walls and gotten the kingdoms to the south to back him in exchange for trade rights as well as land rights. The king won't have much of a choice if he knows about this character and will think that he's an evil warlord. I can imagine one of us should be able to convince him,
I'm not good at lying.
but I am.
He already told the guards he was dead.
That is true, we would have to kill those guards, but we could also say if he had any kin, say a brother, son, who knows.
I thought you were just waving.
That news is probably already spread.
Well,
Hmm.
what about Gaz?
That's
No,
Me?
what I thought you were going to propose was actually a celebration in the death of Stone because he was being a problem against the walls. So perhaps a effigy burning or something.
But that wouldn't bring all the lords together, because not all of them knew of him, I imagine.
True.
Well, if the king orders it, then your plan could still work. And
But what if we say it was Gaz instead? Gaz has a more viable position. He's strong. He's got an army behind him. They could still think it, and if he's as with his well-knownness to it, and with him being more of a public figure, and them not knowing his face, we could still say that Gaz has found a way inside the territories of Aramis and has found a way to field his army and is planning something to take the capital. Then the king would have no choice but to call his banners to his you know city or capital, and there you go. I mean, I
Don't
do.
you think he send scouts of some sort first?
Not necessarily. If he thinks that they're inside the cities or inside the territory, how are you going to scout that? There's
No.
plenty of dwarves walking around. We saw them on the
uh,
streets.
the Silver Striders would have to scout for that.
And there you go. I mean, I do agree. We could also go with Theoden's plan and just go kill some mighty beast to gain his attention. But even in that case, that would be a last resort. I'd rather not have to kill a beast mighty enough.
Well, what kind of beasts do they have around here? I'm not quite familiar
Well,
with somewhere so far from home.
if we could kill one of the great water serpents, that would get the king into a celebrating mood.
But how difficult would that be?
Well, how do I say this? Well, imagine a bunch of frogs trying to kill a boot.
Oh.
How long would it
Frogs
take?
against the boot.
Imagine a bunch of frogs trying to kill a boot.
Is the boot on someone's foot?
Yes.
Oh, is it stomping on the frogs?
Yes.
Frogs could be poisonous.
I feel like this is not the path of action we should take.
Well,
I
Seems
have
a little dangerous.
I have an idea for this actually. Do they have big mouths?
Of course they've got big mouths. They're water serpents. They're,
Okay, then with the
they're
appropriate
gods, essentially.
spells, with the appropriate spells, I could kill it. How big are the mouths exactly?
Well, enough to swallow a frigate.
A frigate. Oh, that's a bit bigger than I thought.
You
Never mind.
gotta think, these beasts have people worshiping them. This was one of their temples.
What if we
Right.
fill a boat full of explosives?
Have to fill a frigate with explosives and hope that it kills them.
Hope they eat it.
A demolition ship.
Magno kind of looks up and says, "Well, I am a paladin of a respected god. So, my thoughts on this is that we could easily... I don't see him turning down my request to meet with him on my church's request. I still think that the best idea we could go with is to convince him that Giaz is arriving, um, and that the forest is currently going, that he's planning on burning the forest down in order to cause the trolls of sorts to come through and break the walls down. Dardishio's in charge of the walls, I imagine, if he's got a city right on it, so that means that he'd probably be sent there to protect it.
Hmm.
Well, I can get it with Paladin request an audience and with myself request an audience. We've got we have easy access to the king.
Hmm.
We could also just kill the king.
That, but then live die too.
But think about it. If we kill the king and we escape, all the lords will be summoned there to not only find a way of find the assassin, but also if we can make it look like it was for political reasons, we could cause a civil war in the midst of it that would start out at the capital.
Jordan just kind of waves his hand a little bit.
I'm
Somebody
not too
dead.
fond of the idea of regicide.
Well,
They are
that's
elves.
that's actually kind of funny because I'm actually a big fan of regicide. It pays very well.
Well, being a king, I can see your point of view, but
Out of curiosity, is the king of this country or the ruler of this country, is he of the same religion as Dardishio?
He Theoden speaks up. He worships dragons.
So what if we convinced him that Dardishio had betrayed the king's gods and had set up against him?
That would take some doing.
Not
That's a lot of evidence you have to plant.
Yeah, but coming from a paladin of the same religion, one could do it.
He doesn't follow your religion.
Looks at him and says, "Yes, but garbs, clothing is very easy to fake."
hmm. Hmm. Perhaps we ought to think about this in a less linear fashion.
Have an idea.
Okay.
What if we went to visit the prisons? Because a lot of the people there are probably pretty cranky at the people running this place. We could get recruits there, at least temporarily.
Carthel doesn't have a prison.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Never mind.
They usually just cut the hands off of people.
Actually,
We know one prisoner.
Hmm.
We know one.
actually, that might be not a bad idea for the capital as a quick distraction for the killing the king.
And you're right. We do know of that one prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
And if we use him, we could always make it look like it was him.
The problem is we've got to get to him because he's hanging between two temples.
Yeah.
He's an innocent man, then.
It would have been nice to have two prisoners, but somebody dragged him down some stairs.
We could always go to the capital and find another. I imagine they have prisons there.
Hmm.
Either way, we know we want to get to the king. And so we can either do this the kind way and try and find a way of convincing him to either send a celebration or a war is coming, depending on how old he is. Either one could, cause him to be worried. Or we could kill him and blame it on Dardishio. Without Dardishio here, then the city falls rather easily.
Remind me, why is it this city that needs to fall in particular if we can't just get Dardishio out?
Wasn't that the point of the quest?
It's mostly because Mokhtar also wants the emerald,
Ah, right.
and we can't really move it because it's roughly the size of this receiving hall.
Yeah, and I don't want to try and break it open ourselves because what if we don't know the correct way to open it?
And if we do have the correct way of opening it, he did say that it was his wife, and she would have burned down the